The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
The story goes back to 1927. In 1927 in Eretz Yisrael, there happened to have been a tremendous earthquake. It was one of the worst earthquakes that Israel has ever seen in its history. Actually, this earthquake, it came in at 6.2 on the Richter scale, which is tremendous. It started in the Dead Sea, and it made its way all the way to Jerusalem. The entire Yerushalayim was shaking for 22 minutes. This earthquake went on. Buildings were dropping like flies. The entire Jerusalem took such a shaking. People were screaming in the streets in pandemonium. They didn't know what was going on. In the middle of the 1927 earthquake, in Jerusalem, in Yerushalayim, there sat the great Sephardic Gadol, known to Klal Yisrael as Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer, Zecher Tzadik L'Bracha. He's better known as the Kaf HaChaim, the legendary works of the Kaf HaChaim, as he wrote the Sephardic Halacha on Shulchan Aruch, the Pirush that he wrote. There he sat, the Kaf HaChaim, on the third floor of the Bet Knesset in Jerusalem, known as Shoshanim LeDavid. The Kaf HaChaim sat on the third floor. He sat in a library, which happened to have been the Ezrat Nashim. And there the Kaf HaChaim sat day and night, writing his legendary Pirush of the Kaf HaChaim on Shulchan Aruch. And then the great earthquake. The building of the Bet Knesset Shoshanim LeDavid, the building was shaking like a leaf. Kaf HaChaim was on the third floor. The books were falling off the shelves. The bookshelves were falling down. The walls were practically caving in. The Kaf HaChaim didn't budge. He was in the middle of learning. He was so engrossed in his learning and in his writing, he didn't move, as if nothing was happening. And then he stopped for literally a moment, and he remembered there's a 6-year-old boy that comes to that shul every day, and he learns by himself on the first floor of the shul. Kaf HaChaim stopped. He said to himself, "Oh boy, this 6-year-old, he must be petrified. I mean, now the whole building is shaking. The earthquake." The Kaf HaChaim closes his books. For the sensitivity of this boy, for that, he'll stop learning. He goes running down the steps. He comes to the first floor, and sure enough, he was right. There is the boy, standing in the corner of the shul, and the boy had his hands on the wall, and he was holding on to one of the bookshelves, and he was crying hysterically. Kaf HaChaim sees the boy, he runs up to him, and he hugs him, and he calms the boy down. And he takes the boy's hands, and he says, "Relax, it's okay, don't worry, I'm here with you, everything's going to be okay." And the building is shaking, and the Kaf HaChaim's talking to the boy, "Relax, it's alright, you're not alone, I'll take care of you, I'm here with you, I'll bring you home to your parents safe, don't worry, everything will be okay." And the more the Kaf HaChaim spoke with such warmth and love, the more the boy was able to relax. Till finally, the boy calmed down. The earthquake subsided. Kaf HaChaim smiled. He took the boy by the hand. And just then, the earthquake started up again, but this time even stronger. And the building was shaking back and forth, mamash, like they've never seen. At that moment, the boy got so scared, he started to cry again. He started running towards the door. The Kaf HaChaim ran after the boy. He grabbed him. He told him, No, don't go out there. It's dangerous. You can't go out there. It's an earthquake." He grabbed the boy. Again, he hugged him. Again, he relaxed him, held the boy by the hands, and he told him, "Don't worry. I'm here with you. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to take you home when it's over. Don't worry. I'm here with you. You're safe." The boy calmed down. The earthquake finally ended for good. After 22 minutes of havoc, the earthquake finally subsided. The Kaf HaChaim takes a breath. Holding the boy's hand, he walks up to the door of the shul. He's taking the boy now home. He opens the door. He's about to take a step out, and suddenly, looks down, and the 2-story staircase that once led up to the front door of the shul, which was 2 stories high, the earthquake completely collapsed the entire staircase. Here are the Kaf HaChaim looking down at a 2-story drop right down to bedrock. He's about to fall off with the boy. He reaches back and grabs the mezuzah, holding the boy's hand. He holds himself up. Slowly he takes a step back. He pulls the boy into safety. Kaf HaChaim. He realized if he would have let this boy run out before Shema Yisrael, what would have happened? The boy got all hysterical. The Kaf HaChaim relaxed and said, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. Baruch Hashem, we were just saved. He saw people running back and forth, emergency people. He started screaming to people, quick! Bring us a ladder! They brought him a 2-story ladder up to the door of the shul. Now, no more staircases, no more steps. Kaf HaChaim picks up the boy, puts him on his shoulders, and he goes down the ladder all the way till the bottom to the street. There he took the boy by the hand, and he went through the streets and brought him to his house. Such warmth and sensitivity. Putting himself in harm's way, just for the feelings of this little boy that he doesn't even know. He smiles at the boy and he tells him, now you're safe. Baruch Hashem, you're home. Hashem saved us. And the boy looked up at the Kaf HaChaim and he was thanking him and thanking him. And then the boy went into his house. The name of that young 6-year-old boy was Ovadia Yosef. That little boy was Chacham Ovadia, who was saved by the Kaf HaChaim. Amazing. And that's why, ladies, years later, when the Kaf HaChaim passed away, the Kaf HaChaim's legendary works and writings on all of Shulchan Aruch, his son, Rabbi Moshe Sofer, wanted to publish and put out the legendary work of the Kaf HaChaim. But the problem was that his father died in middle of Siman Kuf Yud Zayin in Yorede'ah. And there was still 2 Simanim left that his father did not live to write on. And he said, how am I going to publish and put out my father's works on almost the entire Yorede'ah, almost the entire Shulchan Aruch? I can't. I need to find somebody really big enough that actually can finish the legendary works of the Kaf HaChaim. Now, to find somebody like that is to find somebody, a rabbi, that knows all of Shas and all the Rishonim, Aharonim, all the Poskim. He knows practically everything. You have to, in order to finish the great Gadol, the Kaf HaChaim's work, you have to be able to finish it. Only one name came up. And this name came up again and again and again. The name of the 27-year-old Sephardic Dayan that was just appointed to the Bedin in Jerusalem. The name of the great Chacham Ovadia Yosef, Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha. And Reb Moshe Sofer, the son, he comes to Chacham Ovadia, 27-year-old. He was already appointed to the Bedin of Jerusalem. He comes to Chacham Ovadia and he was worried. He was worried that although he knew Chacham Ovadia was the perfect one for the job, but he was worried that now that he was just appointed as Dayan, would he be able to find time to do this? This is a big job. And if he is going to do this tremendous job, will he lose the Dayanut because of this? He was just appointed. He came to Chacham Ovadia and he said, I would like you to finish my father's works. I'd like you to be the one to finish the Kaf HaChaim on Yorede'ah. Chacham Ovadia, he turned to Reb Moshe Sofer and he said, I'll do it. For your father, the Kaf HaChaim, I'll do anything. Reb Moshe Sofer, but maybe you're going to lose your job as Dayan. I mean, it's a lot of hours. He says, even if I lose my job, I will never forget what your father did for me as a 6-year-old boy on that day of the earthquake many, many years ago, how he saved my life, and the sensitivity and the warmth, how he held my hand, how he talked to me, how he cared for me. He didn't know me. That sensitivity was legendary to me. Look at the characteristic traits of the Gedolim, of great people. Take a look at the loyalty. Chacham Ovadia, he remembered from 6 years old what the Kaf HaChaim did for him that day. Even if it meant losing his position, he's going to finish the works of the Kaf HaChaim. And on the other hand, look at the sensitivity that the Kaf HaChaim showed to a 6-year-old boy, putting himself in harm's way. Just because maybe that boy is crying. Let me go help him. Let me save him. He could have walked away. It's not my kid. Let somebody else deal with it. No, that's not the way of Gedolim. That is my kid. That's our Klal Yisrael. That's our Chacham Ovadia Yosef. As a 6-year-old, he came running. He hugged him. He talked to him. Sensitivity. Carried him home. This is the way of Gedolim. These are the great 2 T's on the characteristic traits of great people. Sensitivity and the loyalty. This is something special.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org